It's like you open up your hand on the webbing.
Do you hate babies?
Do I have any children?
No.
Well, that's not your answer.
I mean, if you truly hated babies, you would have some and mistreat them.
Are you setting a timer for how long this podcast is going to be?
No.
That's so embarrassing.
I'm predicting the end. You've got 10. 9.
Wait, the end of what? Oh,
Don't worry about it.
Oh, no.
I have bad news. As far as like how long you're going to live, you've got about 10.
10 what?
9.
Wait, years?
8.
Days? Months?
Questions. Stop.
Questions? Oh. Until what? We just got back from a pretty fun Patreon watching squirrels do some Olympics.
Yeah.
It was actually so cool. Squirrels, I think squirrels, ferrets, and cats are among my top. And owls. Owls are just kind of cool too. Ravens, actually ravens and crows, they beat out owls.
Owls are not that cool. Why are owls cool?
Cool.
Owls.
Cool. Owls?
That's owls. That's
Owl?
a weird word.
Owl.
Owls.
Owl.
I want some cereal. Go get me a bowel.
A bowel.
No. No, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. Undo.
Nope.
Why are owls cool? What's cool about owls?
They're just like, I don't know. Nothing about them in specific, but they make cool sounds and they can turn their head 100. Yeah.
That's not an owl.
No, that's a pigeon, right?
It's a morning dove, I think is what they're called.
I'm pretty sure that is both lotion
One's
and
been
soap.
following me my entire life, or at least since high school. It wakes me up every morning.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe it's trying to tell you like you're supposed to be a wizard. That's your...
We couldn't afford owls. You get a pigeon.
Because they're not supposed to be around that long or travel the distance you've traveled.
I mean, I assume it's the same one, but it might be like a family business.
Oh, true. Yeah, like you got cursed at one point. And like...
Maybe. It is very frustrating.
Is it only on the nights that like you finally got good sleep that it wakes you up?
Probably.
This guy's going to have either insomnia or if he does sleep good, a pigeon's going to show up or a dove's going to show up to wake him up. That'd suck.
That's my life.
It
It would suck.
does suck.
It does suck, and it will suck.
My life can be summarized in one sentence. A suckin' fuckathon. Life sucks and it fucks me up.
I mean, I was going to say, that doesn't sound so bad.
So...
Ravens are cool. Squirrels, I have a newfound love for. They're pretty cool.
They're so cute.
They're
And
like
they're cool.
Forest doggies.
No, they're like forest. They were literally twice compared to cats. I'm doing this because I have Chloe right here.
So?
They're better.
Mm,
Let's see a dog do that course. Not going to happen.
it doesn't have... The
dog can't do it.
The dog is so much better of an animal because it was way smarter. It was like, what if just for the next few thousand years...
Yeah.
We're so cool to you that you just give us food willingly. We don't have to do tricks for it.
I think dogs were so lazy and bad that they needed us to depend on, whereas cats became gods to the Egyptians. And then
I don't think so. No, see, cats were just like cleaning up the mice in the pyramids, I'm pretty sure.
sure, right.
They're pest control.
Hater.
Dogs are best friends.
What do they do?
I'm sorry. What is a man's best friend? If you were at
buddy.
trivia night, what would you answer?
A man's best friend?
Uh-huh.
Hard work, determination, power, will.
No. This animal, otherwise known as man's best friend.
Yeah, I just want to answer it.
Yeah, and you would lose.
It's
I'm just saying, what's better than, like, skill?
luck.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't tie into the
Not at all.
I was trying to tie it into, like, working smart, not hard, right? Dogs are like, yeah, we can work in packs and, like, hunt down the animals and murder them and eat them. Or we just, like, bark at things for this guy and he gives us food.
I feel like cats did the
Better.
same thing. I don't know.
They don't bark.
But they don't have, like, any responsibility. No, Samson barks.
Prove it.
Let's go take him on a walk to where other dogs are. He'll bark at dogs.
I'm, I'm just picturing like an actual over the top. Woof.
Yeah, he barks, but he's like small.
I've never heard it.
No.
No,
When-
I want a real bark.
Yeah.
It's
Like a Chihuahua bark, you know.
or
A little bit bigger.
bark. Bark, bark.
Samson, what is that? Is that a dog? Bark, bark.
Did you just say bark?
Meow. Now you're saying meow.
They're on meow.
Um,
I saw a video that was just like a compilation of like, can you read this? Meow. And he shows the camera and it just says that. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Genius.
What about this one? Got it right again.
How do you spell that?
HSSSSS.
That's
Huh? No, that's HI. Yeah.
You need like a sound.
So like HGSSS. HGH.
Human growth hormone.
Yeah, that's what the cats need is human growth hormone. There's been some small news in the nerd community recently, and that's that one of our listeners is interested in Magic the Gathering.
Big mistake. Don't do it.
It's so cool. It's awesome.
Do you like having money?
Yeah. Just do what I do. Fake it.
Yeah, but also for Magic the Gathering, you just
Yeah.
print out. It costs 50 cents a page or whatever. 5 cents a
So-
page? 50 cents is too much.
It depends if you want in color or not.
Yeah.
I
I feel like if you proxy, you should use color.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell what card is. Like,
There's like when you proxy as well, you can choose the different prints. Some of the prints are like intentionally black and white. Like it's just like a set they did.
that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Innistrad.
Yeah. And it's just you print it and you're like, this is kind of awful. I don't like it. So I always change that one to the colored version.
Yeah.
But they're interested in it, which is the best time to do it because if you're gonna get into Commander, maybe the most popular format,
It is.
now is the time. Because the rules committee, 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say committee?
No.
The rules committee.
You said committee.
Okay. In my head,
In
I
your
said-
brain, you
I said
had a
committee.
stroke, but
Yeah.
it came out right.
The rules committee is 5 people who are not affiliated or at least not working for Wizards of the Coast for Watsky.
Is Commander even? Commander's not like an official format, right? I mean, it is.
It's an official
but they don't do
format, but they don't govern it.
Yeah, it's not like competitive for them. They don't have any. Like, if you go to a pro tour, it's never Commander.
Correct. Yeah, it's
But
always
they
side
do,
events.
or even GPs. It's always like standard or
modern. Legacy.
Even the legacy formats are supported, but Commander's never a competitive thing because it's a little bit different. Normal formats, you have a deck of at least 60 cards that you certain cards are or are not banned, but then you shuffle those up and you play.
Yeah.
1-on-1, life total of 20.
Yes.
But Commander,
You have 100 cards. Now, one huge distinction between the two of them is you have to have exactly 100 cards, but each card minus basic land needs to be unique. Whereas in the 60 card format, you could have 4 of any one card minus basic land.
big change.
Yeah, huge. So it adds a whole bunch of variety into it. You can find cards that do similar things to add some sort of like cohesion or like.
Yeah, so like Llanowar
consistency.
Elves is a 1-mana 1/1 that taps for a green mana creature. And then there's like 4 or 5 different versions of the same thing.
yeah.
1 green mana for a creature that taps for green mana. So you have like pseudo like same copies of the same card, but
so you can be consistent. But it was originally intended just to as EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander.
is that what that is?
It's because there's the 5 dragons that had their distinct color ones, and they were your commander.
And Highlander, because there can only be one.
Yeah. So you would play with that, and then it kind of branched off from that and became this rule of cool type of game where I'm going to play this game. I have 100 different cards in there. Maybe I'm going to rule 0 it a little bit with my table, and we're going to allow this to happen instead. Or they do some changes that are maybe not always there, and that's kind of the spirit of it. And then it got competitive, and it started getting more popular, and it established a competitive format as well that has like high power decks that are insane that can just pop off, and they're incredibly consistent. They're just scary to go against. I turned it off.
Uh-oh. Good night.
Bye, guys. Lat's too big. Posture too bad.
Uh-oh.
I think it's okay. It's just gonna be gone.
Posture. It's fine.
Yeah. And
Hyper competitive.
hyper competitive, and that's in part to some cards that are just really good, right? The main person that started EDH Commander passed away last year,
Oh.
and
didn't know
it's
that.
now a new 5 that took over. Not a new 5, but it's a new person in that 5th slot. And on the 23rd of September of 2024, they made a rules change. They made an announcement that they're banning some cards. Because some cards just break the format. There are cards like, you need to have this in your decks. If you don't, you're just at a disadvantage. Right?
Yes.
And there's some cards like, you play it and it's just so hard to stop. You're very much so in the winning position.
Mhm.
And it's not as fair. Or they just give you way too much value in a time that's too hard to stop. So in order to make everything a little bit more equal, or make it that if you play this card, you don't just automatically have the winning state, they decided to ban 4 cards. The problem with doing that is that they were 4 cards that were must includes in a lot of decks, and for that had a very, very high demand versus the supply. So they're expensive, right?
Yep.
One of them, Mana Crypt, $180. And that's just one card in your 100 card deck.
I'm trying to remember the joke, but there's so many different versions of the same joke where it's like, honey, I spent X amount of money on Magic the Gathering. It's like, oh, wow. Like,
What did you get?
that's a
Like
crazy expensive. It's like, yeah, I spent $180 on this. And they're like, that's a crazy expensive deck.
deck?
That's a single. That's one card in my 100 card deck. Yeah.
Oh, I'm turning it back on.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna push that away.
Yeah, smart.
Um,
So Mana Crypt, $180.
Mana Crypt. Oh, is it gonna bring us right back? Let's go!
Boom, boom, boom. We're good.
Yeah, they can't even see my name.
I can't believe your PlayStation shows your full name and address and social security card.
That is insane.
That's lucky.
Did you know, side tangent, before 2011, your social security, the first 3 digits were the area?
Yeah.
Yeah, no longer the case. Now they're not as easily cracked.
What? Yeah, because that. I mean, knowing that, you could easily find what my first 3 are, which are.
You can find the first 3, and then the rest of it
And
is
then I
also
give my
like
last 4 out to
hospital.
anyone who asks.
Yeah, isn't it like the first 3 is the area, and there's something about the hospital or something like that as well, I think.
I don't know.
And then the last 4 is just found. Like, it's just everywhere. So,
Seems pretty bad.
yeah, for us, old heads.
Wait, why wouldn't they just keep, like, the first 3 are kind of your geographic location of where you were born? And then isn't that enough? I guess that's probably not enough to be like, because when I asked
the first
my
3 and the last 4, you just have to figure out the next 2.
But like, why do they ask for the last 4 instead of just the first 3? Like, if I'm donating blood, they'll ask your last 4 or whatever to confirm. Like, oh, are you?
why
this
don't
person?
why
Why
don't
do they just ask for the first 3? But that doesn't work for like the large majority of people that just stay in the same location.
Yeah, because then you can even do like the first 3 and the first one after
I'm
that.
telling you, we need to just tattoo barcodes on babies. This is your ID.
This is
No one can steal it because it's attached to you.
Where do you put it? Like on the bottom of your foot, like Andy's soul.
Ooh,
Like,
I mean, no, you couldn't do bottom of your foot because that would be super inconvenient anytime you had to like scan it.
right.
You'd have to like take off your shoe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Back of the neck.
Back-
You would never see it. You get to scan. It
I'm
would be
bald.
easy. What, so?
I just like you.
Easy to scan.
Yeah, easy to still.
Lip.
Ooh, yeah. In between the fingers. It's like you open up your hand on the webbing.
Do you hate babies?
Do I have any children?
No.
Well, that's not your answer.
I mean, if you truly hated babies, you would have some and mistreat them.
No, because I'm not a cruel person. I can hate without taking action.
I hate, but in responsible ways.
Yeah, a lot of people should learn how to do that. I saw a video, or no, not video, post, a photo of these 2 people at a Trump rally, and one of them's white, one of them's black, and the white guy's just beating up this black guy, and they're wearing pretty much the exact same outfit. And the post was like, it was like trying to be a black Trump fan, black Trump supporter.
Sure.
Yeah. Getting beat up by your own kind.
Unrelated, like while you started, I was like kind of like dancing a little bit. I was just vibing.
Yeah.
Not to anything related to what you were saying though. I realized like immediately I was like, I should stop because that's not what I want to endorse. The supporting Trump thing, not the That's what I was worried about.
I wasn't confused. I'm glad you clarified it for them.
So these cards got banned.
They got banned, and what that did is it tanked the Magic the Gathering stock market, the economy, because now these cards that everybody was trying to get and they were $180 before are now $50 or less, right? And they essentially just lost out on money as if the stock price dropped.
Yeah, which really sucks. So there are certain people, which I don't care about these people, that will intentionally like, I want to buy like 50 copies of this card because I think the value is going to go up.
Right.
Or like they play it like stocks. I don't care about them losing value. But the people who are like, man, I really love Commander. I have my like people like have their little babies, their little decks. This is my awesome deck that I love, and I buy like the special artwork of each card.
And it's all foil, and it's all
like,
they
it's like their hobby all in just 100 cards. And I'm like, oh, for my deck, I want a Mana Crypt, or I want Dockside Extortionist, one of the other cards that got banned. They're like, I really want that. It'll complete my deck until the next like few sets come out, and then maybe I add another card. Oh, I just bought that. It got banned. Now I'm out. Like, even if I sell the card because I don't need it anymore,
130.
I'm out, half a card for the next card I want in my deck.
Right. And it did that. A lot of people had like things on TCG Player for the 180, and they had to change it because it just got destroyed. They put a large investment in, which now got tanked. Some things people would do is they heard about the announcement and immediately went to a game store and sold their collection of these 4 cards for the price that they were listed at.
Yep, they
previously.
were not updated. Yeah,
because the employees of the card shop probably haven't known yet because they're working, right? Yeah. So then they unloaded, and all of a sudden the card shop's out of a whole lot of money because they can't resell those. For the
I don't feel as bad for that, I guess.
I feel bad because I think the people that did that went and sold them are the first type of people you talked about. The ones who bought 50 Mana Crypts.
Like the stock market. Yeah, that would suck.
Because they just kind of like, well, fuck, I'm going to go drop. Then the next thing that happened from this kind of tanking of the economy, the rules committee got bullied, got death threats.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
One in particular got all of the hate, or a lot of the hate.
So just to clarify, WotC, Wizards of the Coast, they run all the other formats, but this is a completely independent group of people that are like, this is I don't even know what you would like correlate it to, compare it to. Like, it's just like a side body of like hobbyists who like this thing so much that they create and foster their own community.
Right.
And they don't I don't think they get paid for it.
No.
It's just like a passion project.
Yeah.
And to reward them.
Yeah. They were getting harassed, getting sent death threats. Unfortunately, one of the people on the rules committee is a girl.
Unfortunate. That sucks.
Yeah. So she got like the vast majority of the hate. So much of it, to the point where the rules committee had to come out and say, hey guys, don't. Also, this wasn't a unanimous decision, and the only person in R5 that said we shouldn't ban this was her. Like, you're sending all the hate to her because she's a girl, and she's the only one that said don't ban it.
Which, to specify, like, they don't actually normally announce who voted which way.
Yeah.
Because why would you? It's just like, as a body, we want to unify.
Yeah, we want to do this.
But because you guys are being dicks about it, I guess we have to very specifically say you're being dicks to the, like, one person you shouldn't if you're going to be. Yeah. And even then, don't.
Yeah, like, just don't be a dick, and then, like, don't be a sexist dick as well. Like, what are you doing? And this blew up, went huge, and Wizard of the Coast said, you know what? We're going to step in. We're taking control of Commander. Right? So they took it over, and they announced, like, right away their idea for Commander, which are sectioned bannings.
Sure.
Different tiers, which is somewhat similar to what they do with their normal 60-card formats. You have your, I'm forgetting the first one. Before that. Vintage. You have Vintage, Legacy, Modern, and then Pioneer and then Standard. Yeah. So they have different tiers of 60-card deck. They're going to do something similar now with Commander.
Which is basically just like, you have the entire card pool in Vintage, and then you ban some for Legacy, you ban more for Modern. So it's like increasingly narrow.
Yes.
So for Commander, you're going to have, here's all the cards minus maybe a couple that are banned.
Yeah, some of the powerhouses are just way too strong.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it with power levels. So, like, you can have these cards at this tier of deck, which is okay, I guess.
Fine.
Right? Like, a lot of people already, they do a 10 level or 10 powered tier saying, oh, this deck is a level 7 deck.
Okay.
Right? And now we're going to have a quantifiable way to say, oh, yeah, this is a power 7 deck because it doesn't have these cards in it. So it's just level 7, but it has these cards which are at level 6. So, like, you know, there's a little bit easier way to do it. The bad part about this is it means Wizards of the Coast can now unban those cards that were just banned, which they've announced, because I think Tier 4 is where they're going to be putting those cards back into.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a Tier 4 out of 5 or if Tier 4 is the top tier. I don't know yet. I haven't looked that far into it. But this has caused a lot of outrage for another reason, because some people are overgrown and children and don't know how to act. So in protest, they decided, you know what, fine, if this card's basically worthless now, it's only $50, I'm going to burn it. I'm going to rip it up in protest.
Yeah.
And now...
I've seen some, like, pictures online of someone who, like, deep fry their mana crypt or whatever. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
this is worthless now.
Don't know how to handle their emotions, which is crazy. I don't know, it's so stupid to me. Those people I don't feel bad for. Like, it's still a good card, and unbannings do happen, you know?
Yeah.
And petitions were being made to unban this. You just jumped the gun way too quick. Like, why? Rule 0 it, like we said at the beginning of this, to have it in your games. I don't understand.
That's what. That's the real solution in my mind, is like, if you're gonna play by the rules of overarching Commander,
yeah,
and like go to big events, yeah, you just play by the rules. But for 90% of your games, I assume you're just playing with your like one friend group or your pod or whatever. It's just make the rule. Like, we have a special mulligan rule.
Yeah.
We don't enforce it, but like land destruction's kind of like don't play that.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of fucked up.
But it's not an official rule for anyone.
Yeah, we have
We're
another
okay
one
with
like
proxies.
Combo, don't make a combo generic deck. You know?
Just
like
with your play group, just be like, hey, I spent a lot of money on this card. Can we just say it's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're going to be pumping them back up. A lot of people bought the dip like they would in a stock market, and they bought all the cards when they're at $50 or less, and now they're starting to creep back up again. So it's 2008 all over again for the nerd group, and
it's the 2008 crisis for them.
Yeah,
if the money is a huge part of it, if you're doing it, like, be prepared to lose everything, because also WotC could just decide to come out with one of their many sets. They release like 1,000 sets a year or something now.
Yeah.
They could just reprint Mana Crypt as like a common if they really wanted to.
Right, or they could just reprint Mana Crypt that's not Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
Like what they did with Jewel Lotus, another card that got banned,
one of the 4.
is essentially a Black Lotus of types, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like they can just... yeah, it's stupid.
Like, you're investing heavily in something where the rules are literally made up by a company owned by Hasbro. So
yeah,
probably don't.
And then of course they're gonna unban them like they did, because now it's a higher commodity again, which means they can do reprints of different artwork or different styles of border, and they can sell those for even higher. So
I just don't think
they don't
do
really
reprints
want banned cards, huh?
I don't think they do reprints.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
a delicate. You can't flood the market with it, but that was a whole lot of card drama. I hope you guys found it interesting, because they kind of took up the entire time we had here. It's just interesting how people react in the world, and how some things that you might not know about just completely affect a huge community of people.
Yeah.
It's insane.
There were probably like a non-zero amount of deaths that came out of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like if you go to Wall Street Bets on Reddit,
mm-hmm.
like there was a thing that happened not too long ago where this guy, one of his family members passed away, and he got inherited a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And he put it all in the stock market on a specific stock, which it dipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then jumped back up. But before it jumped back up, he's like, I lost like $1.5 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
Killed himself.
Oh, I saw a thing. It was a football game in, I want to say England. I want to say it was the England team, and it was like a big fan or whatever. And they at like halftime, or a little past halftime, they were down like 3-0.
Yeah.
And the dude killed himself because it was his favorite team, and it was like a championship game.
And it was just
and they came back
point.
And won it. And that's just over the course of a couple hours.
Right.
Like, oh. And if you haven't seen Stephen King's The Mist, watch it. It's a good movie. It doesn't end anything like that.
I've read it. That was just such a. It took my brain a second to like, what the hell?
I just love the ending of that movie so much.
Stephen King's a weird series. I've read some of his books, and there's one, The Dark Tower, I think it's called, series. I think it's the second or the third book. There's like a good third of it is just about this girl who's very horny, and one of the chapters is just her running through a field masturbating. And I'm like, why was this like? Why was there so much time spent on this? And it's like it feels weird too, because you follow the journey of one character, and then it goes to the next book, and it follows like the journey of this character for a little bit, but you don't know a lot about her. And one of the first things you find out is just that she's like an exhibitionist, and she's just running around, and you're like, why is this important? I don't understand.
It's vital.
Yeah.
You don't understand. It comes back in the 8th book.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's like 12 books in the series. It's like...
Yeah, I knew there were at least 7, so
Yeah.
I just took a shot.
Right. All right, well...
Anyway.
Thanks for kicking. Thanks for backing. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
All right, Chloe, go get him. Knock down the thing.
Just throw your cat.
No.
They're throwing the cats.